So the funnel, more or less, goes generally in this order. If you look up client acquisition funnel in a bunch of different ways, you'll see it discussed in very complicated ways. This is going to be the simple way. When you think about a funnel, it starts very wide, very broad, and then it narrows down into a smaller amount. And so when we think about, okay, yes, putting something on the internet, hello, this is who we are, that could be reaching thousands, if not tens of thousands or more people. But ultimately, we're going to see one person at a time. And so when we kind of talk about our messaging, there's going to be a relationship between how we do messaging broadly all the way down to the individual that we're going to be discussing. So with the discovery part of it, I strongly support having a website. It's easy to be on either Thumbtack or Yelp or have a Google presence. Those are going to be wonderful platforms for people to be funneled to your website. They're small snippets, but when people go to your website, it'll be much more clear on who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Websites and web domains are relatively inexpensive. You don't have to be a web developer to ultimately put yours together. It's helpful if you know someone that can give you some guidance on the technical aspects of things. We're not going to go knee deep in that, but some stuff like if they message you on your website, message, and then click submit, it should get to your email and not to your spam. So that was something that it took me a couple months to figure out. And I'm like, how come I'm not getting any business? It's because all of my leads were going into spam. So that's going to be my gift to you. So on your website, it'll be simple, not clever. So the simpler that you can describe the things that you do and how you do it, the better. If a 5-year-old can understand what you do, that's going to be perfect. Having an email domain that is going to be like mine is mark@branskyfitness.com, whatever your business is, will show a strong sign of professionalism. It's why I no longer use the email, stargirl69 at Gmail. It's just a little bit less professional. That is a joke. I didn't see any smiles on that. So hopefully you don't email me that one. The next layer is when you do some either ads or you're looking at the performance of your website, you would use Google Analytics. You want to see how many impressions that you make, basically people that see, you when you kind of, when they type in personal trainer and then maybe you pop up, and then of those people, how many people click. And so there are definitely things that you can do to make your website pop up more easily, a little bit higher up on the search, especially in your region. And then to see how many of those people ultimately go to your website. What do you put on there? Definitely stuff about who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and contact. I've been to a lot of websites that you feel like you're scrolling down like 9 miles of a papyrus scroll just to kind of get the bottom and be like, how do I do that? Little things on your website, it should have the least amount of scrolling before it can get to kind of contact. And even along the way, after each section, who are you? And then you'll have for contact, click for contact. What do you do? Click for contact. You want people to have the ability to reach out and start emailing you at any point from initially landing. They should be able to contact you. And then obviously as they're scrolling all the way down. Having a Google business profile is free. You can put a lot of your basic information on there, like your location, hours, a little description on what you do and how you do it and who you do it to. Right? A little bit of your positioning statement in your description. And then there's obviously Yelp, Thumbtack, Nextdoor, if you're going to be like around here. I suppose, I don't know if Nextdoor is a national thing. In my opinion, Google and Google Ads is going to be the best. Because even if you type in on Google, personal trainers near me, like your Yelp will pop up. I find that a lot more people will do initial searches on Google rather than going to Yelp and then, or some other platform and then typing personal trainer. You get a lot more control that way on how you can target your market, not just in location, but very specific demographics on what sectors of work they're in, whether they rent or own, what is their income level. You can be very specific on who you are going to be targeting, which is going to be helpful, especially when it comes to when you run your ads. But whatever it is, choose one, maybe two, and you just want to have pretty much the same positioning statement all across there. So if you help runners on everything, it's like, I help runners get faster, pain-free, and live a better life, whatever it is. And that's just blasted everything, whether it's short form or long form. Another part of your positioning statement should be how you differ from other people that would be similar to you. So if you help golfers, how do you differentiate yourself from other golf trainers? Maybe you have an NASM certification specifically for golf. If you work, it's not just I help golfers, but I help youth golfers, set up for scholarship for college or something like that. Something about specifically who you work with and specifically what you do. So your differentiator should also help to kind of like highlight. So if you work with middle-aged people that are bored with exercise, I mean, yeah, your differentiator is like, I do Animal Flow. I basically turn exercise into games. And that's going to be the way that Emily helps people get out of boredom versus anybody else. Reviews are huge. There are people that you've likely already worked with, basically to have a better register on Google, to come up a little bit faster when somebody types in personal trainer or whatever the keyword is. The more reviews you have of obviously high quality, and the more organic and specific the contents in the reviews are, the higher up you're ultimately going to be registering. So instead of it being like, my mom typing, Mark's a great trainer, and then that's it, 17 stars, 5 stars. But if it's like, Mark is very detail oriented. I think my clients are, wonderfully good about being kind of specific, because when I've said, hey, can I have a review? And they're like, yes. I'm like, I'll send them a text and I'm like, hey, mention something that you enjoyed, or mention something that has changed your life. Something very specific in there that can be referenced, rather than he was great or the dad jokes are wonderful, whatever it is. So you want, hopefully your differentiator is going to be in that review quality also. So here's an example of just I've already got, like when it comes to the automation, a lot of the scripts that I have, whether it's to email or text, I just have like kind of in a file. So I'll just like copy it, put their name in there, or change something when it comes to, hey, we just lost 30 pounds, or you've been so good at coming in. Do you mind sharing that? And then it's got the, it's got the link. Once again, it's also just free. It's very simple. If you get 2 a week, that's going to be amazing. And especially if you can time it to when someone has an awesome experience. There's going to be a lot of sessions where it's like, I'm going to come in, have a good workout. Hey, this is great. And then sometimes you're like, my fucking God, this session was great. I finally had a breakthrough. Mark, my this. When your client either comes in on a high or they leave on a particular high, you get that review.